Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome back once again to Maximus the Fourth. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts with you today about Alex Eubank. Eubank. Now, Alex Eubank is a fitness influencer on YouTube that first started his channel back in 2017. He's only 23 years old, and he's already accumulated 1,230,000 subscribers with 377,000 views on his channel. He's made 1,060 different videos, and he claims to be a natural lifter. But is he really? Alex Eubank is a lifter that loves to incorporate his faith for Jesus Christ in a lot of his videos to inspire people to not just live a healthy lifestyle, but to follow Jesus. Alex Eubank, he actually does suffer pretty badly with depression, and it's not because there's really one thing that happened when he was young. It's a hereditary thing that he has, a chemical imbalance that is in his brain. And because of this, at one point, his depression got so bad that he wanted to kill himself. But he pulled through, and he has actually made a video that's called When I Wanted to End It All, My Journey with Depression and Anxiety, which is a video that nearly has 1 million views. I think it's at 947 or 57,000 views, but it's an incredibly good story about his testimony in how he nearly lost everything and even his life because depression was crippling him so badly. And he definitely uses his faith in Jesus Christ in that video to help influence people and to encourage them to never give up. And clearly, he uses fitness as a major coping mechanism for his depression because his depression never quite goes away. Now, we all know that Alex Eubank's YouTube channel predominantly focuses on lifting weights, but with an exception, he will do different things here and there, just whatever he is on his mind or what he's thinking about. And his very first video, surprisingly, he's playing with an RC car, and on his second video, he explores a haunted house. Now, the way that Alex Eubank trains is, to put matters to you very simply, it's pretty much complete and utter polar opposite of what the Trend Twins do. The Trend Twins are really into, like, oh man, yeah, I gotta get so strong and just big, oh yeah. Alex Eubank, he doesn't really care about how strong he is or how big he is, although he does have a very stacked physique for a 170-pound framed man. He wants to look the best and look the healthiest. And genetically, he actually has a very, very nice chest that most people don't have. And it's just a genetic advantage that he has. And when he's working his chest, he actually only uses 2 lifts. It's some sort of a pressing movement and a flying movement. When he's in his sets, he's not really worried about how much weight he's using. He's worried about how he's doing the reps. So let's say he's doing a weight that might not be as heavy as what other people might do. He will literally pause and slow down his reps, doing everything in his power to optimize his full gains. And he will just rep the living daylights out of his sets when doing his reps and trying to focus his muscles as best he possibly can to get the gains that he needs. Kind of a little bit of a side random note, but he actually reminds me a whole lot of Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son. His long blonde hair and his super jacked muscles and being super lean, just like much like Brandon Lee was in The Crow. It's like a complete spitting image of him, but blonde hair. And he even has an underbite, just like Brandon Lee did. Now, what Alex does a lot of times when he's maxing in the gym, he never ever pushes himself to a 1 rep max, ever. And if he does, he's usually pretty careful. However, I have seen him get a little bit hasty with going too quick and not progressively overloading, just like Greg Doucette has called him out on. And the reason for this, why he doesn't usually max, is because over the years in his bodybuilding career or weightlifting career, he has accumulated 2 different big injuries, which is a torn labrum and a herniated disc in his back. So he has to be careful, whether he wants to or not, because he's had significantly big enough injuries to where he could easily re injure himself if he's not very, very careful. Now let's take a look at Alex Eubank's most popular video, which I think stands at 2.4 million views. The title of this video is What I Wish I Knew When I Started Lifting, Training for Aesthetics. So Alex Eubank, he does focus a lot on aesthetics. He does do weightlifting too, of course, but he is focused on natural types of lifting and just looking the best, like I said earlier. In this video, he's explaining the way he does sets, especially with his chest, and how he will slow down on his sets to make sure he's optimizing his gains. It's a really good video because the way he's explaining the way he works out, he's not saying that everybody has to do this, but it works for him, and it's not going to work for everybody, but he's pretty humble, and it's cool to see because he's not just pushing the workout on other people. He's very aware that everyone has different genetics and everyone has a different way of working out, and things are going to work for people in different ways. Alex Eubank, from my own personal knowledge, has a body weight of 170 pounds, and he can bench press roughly 275 pounds. I think I might have seen him do 285 pounds, but you get the point. That's pretty much the idea on what he can bench. So is he strong for his size? Yeah, absolutely. He's very strong for his size. Now, to top this video off, a question that needs to be answered is Alex Eubank actually a natural lifter? Well, I don't think he is. I've seen a video of his when he was 16 years old where he was explaining that he was actually doing steroids at a very young age, at 16 years old. Greg Doucette actually even pointed this out and was blown away that he was admitting that he did steroids. And overall, if you take a look at Alex's physique in his videos, he's very, very bulky for his size, very lean, and generally speaking, unless you have some ridiculously crazy good Viking genetics, just like Brock Lesnar, you cannot have both low body fat and huge muscles. It's either one or the other. You just can't do it. I don't care who you are. It's just not possible to do it. And my question to be critical on Alex is, why would he advertise that he's a natural lifter if he clearly is not, and he is using steroids? I don't know, but I really feel like there's a lot of professional lifters out there that are always claiming that they're just completely natural, but they're really not. But other than that, I do have a lot of respect for Alex Eubank. I do think he's, for the most part, a pretty humble dude, and his journey with walking with God definitely has not been perfect. It's pretty clear that he has lived with his girlfriend when he had his girlfriend and broke up with her last year, that he was definitely sleeping with her. And a huge thing that you cannot be doing if you're walking with God is you absolutely cannot be sleeping with somebody before marriage, and that's just not okay. So if he's claiming to be a Christian, I think that he needs to look at himself in the mirror a little bit, because yeah, he definitely doesn't live the way that he should be if he's claiming to be a complete Christian. And even I struggle with that kind of stuff. No, I'm married, obviously, and I'm a good husband to my wife, but even just doing these YouTube videos like I am now, sometimes it gets to my head, and I have a hard time focusing on God, because let's face it, we all have a desire to live in the flesh, but it's just not a good thing to do. And much like Paul talks about in Romans, is that a lot of times when you're doing the thing that you don't want to do is when you're doing the right thing. So I'm not going to sit here and just bash on Alex Eubank. I actually think he's a pretty stinking good dude, and I really like what he's doing with his YouTube channel. And any of you out there who have never seen him, I would definitely say he's worth a follow. So just go find him and subscribe. And those are my thoughts on Alex Eubank. Don't forget to check the description down below in this video to take a look at the extras. And make sure you guys check out my video, Black Cherry Cola Pepsi Soda Shop 2-liter chug. Also, if you would like to help support this channel here at Maximus the Fourth, I'm going to leave both a Venmo and Cash App link. You can hit either one of those links down below if you want to donate. Also, if you want to buy anything from my merch store, I will also leave a link down below for my eBay store. Hit that if you want to buy anything. I got Pepsi Blue, Crystal Pepsi, some empty Mountain Dew Sangrita Blast cans, which are pretty rare, even some full ones. I even have some Mountain Dew Baja Deep Dive, Mountain Dew Baja Caribbean Splash. The list goes on. I definitely have a lot of the Coca-Cola Creations flavors, like Coca-Cola Move, even Coca-Cola Marshmallow, but to name a few, I won't go on forever. Those are my thoughts on Alex Eubank.